Hello, and welcome, wonderful humans, to Hell and Hightails, the edgiest and gayest podcast, slowly, anally fisting our way into your fleshy hearts. Today, me and Willie D are discussing our single, most hated, and just worst in general shows that we have ever consumed. Will!
So
Talk
we're just
about
gonna
some
keep
bad
the whole
shows.
fisting thing, huh? Well, bad shows. First off, I'm gonna start it off with a little anime called Handshakers. It's
Fuck Handshakers. Fuck that
it's
show.
an amazing anime.
Okay.
I would
Let
say
me
it's
go
even
first.
better than
Let me go
Naruto.
first. Let me go first. Because I only got through fucking 8 minutes of this shit. I looked at you. I looked you dead in the fucking eye. Okay, there was no video, it was audio only. So I looked at where I imagined your eyes are. I looked at the furry art on your thumbnail, dead in the eye. No fear, and I'm like, I'm a binge watch every single episode of this show before the next podcast, and we're gonna do a whole episode on it. I pinky
fucking
swear,
warned-
fucking lock my heart, throw away the key, fucking sign a fucking contract on it with fucking Satan. I'm doing this shit. Got 8 minutes in and I'm like, fuck this. I want nothing to do with this. This shit isn't, this is, it's really fucking, so bad it's funny. This is like the kind of bad you like to, just get fucking inebriated and watch and fucking make fun of. No, this is just unpleasant. This is just fucking human torture in animated form, and not the good kind I like to watch, like in Made in Abyss. This is just garbage. And it physically gave me a headache looking at this show. Every single decision between the camera and the animation, and I say camera because, it's not a real camera, but with the way they had the world framed and moving, with the way they did the animation, it was physically sickening. It gave me a headache, and I hated looking at it. And seeing that my favorite things in anime as a medium is the visuals and the presentation, that was a really huge hit for me. And then top it all off, it's fucking generic Magoo, fucking slow-ass, fucking count to 3 trillion and we're only a minute in kind of show. So this, I fucking called it at 8 minutes. I was not going to keep watching more of this show. If I'm at the 8-minute mark, and I'm already feeling like I watched an hour. I was just dead. I fucking made it 98 episodes into Fairy Tail, which I hate. But I only made it 8 fucking minutes into Handshakers. However, Will actually watched the whole thing. I don't know how much you remember.
Unfortunately.
You actually watched all of this shit, so please, enlighten us on all the bullshit that I saved myself from.
Well, to give you an idea, I've watched the whole thing, and I still don't understand what the fuck was going on. The basis of the plot is this guy has to hold on to this girl's hand, or else she'll die. And there's these people that are called Handshakers, and they hold hands and get powers when they enter this special dimension called the Ziggurat. And I guess whoever is
fucking into the Dove Ziggurat.
And I guess whoever is the last handshake, like they fight each other in here, and whoever is like the last handshaker standing out of all of them in the world, I guess, gets to ask God for a wish.
That sounds a lot like the plot of fucking Selector. And I just did an entire solo podcast on how much I hate Selector. What the fuck?
So, on top of that, though,
Do
not
all
only
shitty
is
shows
this...
have that plot?
I hope not. But on top of that, not only is the plot to this show an absolute fucking dumpster fire, it gets worse.
Oh.
The animation is absolutely terrible. Every background is like this photorealistic, and they use a fish lens on everything. So
I
it's like
know. It
every
makes me
every
so
fucking
sick.
background, every background in this show looks like the background of a 2007 dating sim flash game. There's CGI in parts that don't even need CGI, and it's all absolutely fucking awful. This show was made by fucking oh god, help me out, what's the name of them? Katakawa. People who have made some fantastic fucking animes. But they've
Kanagawa is
also
really
made
fucking hit or miss, though. They're all over the board. So they're not really. When I hear them, that doesn't really tell me a lot about the show personally, because those fuckers did Higurashi, but and fucking Mary the Virgin Witch. So they're all over the fucking place. Sorry, Maria the Virgin Witch. And Handshakers. So they're fucking just. It being by Kodakawa doesn't really tell me anything about the quality.
That's fair.
You know what the fucking design of a lot of things in Handshakers remind me of? Okay, I'm going to reference something that's actually good, so people that are a fan of this series don't hate me yet, but it reminds me a lot of things that were done in Etrian Odyssey, where they took a digital texture and just overlaid it over a flat image and essentially built all of their dungeons out of just like, it's like a cardboard box diorama, right? They make a bunch of 2D walls and make boxes, and they just put and like tape a bunch of digital textures over all of them to make the world. And that works for Etrian Odyssey, because Etrian Odyssey, the games I have played, these are like these big randomized, like, well, not randomized, but they're these big overlapping dungeons that go on and on and on. So any dungeon crawler, especially, you know, like ones where you gotta draw maps and shit for, dungeon crawlers are usually generic looking. So, you know, it works for that, but it's done because it's easy for them to keep making hundreds of dungeons. It's not done because it looks good. But this anime, and a lot of fucking anime, keeps doing this shit where they just overlay shitty-looking generic digital textures just over everything to save time. And we fucking notice. We notice. It doesn't look good.
I don't know. I just wanted to say one more thing about Handshakers before we move to the next shitty show. The scene.
No, say all you want about Handshakers.
Oh, okay. The scene that me and my friend, because I've watched this with my friend. God fucking, I wouldn't be able to do it alone. He gave up about at the 20 episode mark, and I had to fucking, I was committed. But the scene that we fucking lost it was there was a door in the background. Like, it was nothing important. It didn't even do anything in the scene. But there was a door. And the door itself was drawn. But the handle was CG. For no reason. No one opened the door. No one went through the door. No one even walked near the door. They just felt like making the handle CG. For some reason.
Actual fuck.
This show is an acid trip.
I understand that doing a lot of things digitally makes it a lot easier to make anime. I understand that, and that's perfectly fine. You can have a lot of digital textures and a lot of shit, and you can even have fully CG anime. I don't have any problem with that. My dilemma is there's so many studios that are using it as an excuse to be lazy and then putting out lazy-looking work that looks like shit. And I don't know if it's like this for everyone. Like, Will, tell me if it's like this for you. But if somebody does shitty, like, 2D animation, you know, it's bad and I notice it, you know, but it's one thing. But if people do shitty CG animation, it fucking sticks out like a sore thumb and hits me right in the face.
Oh, it really does. Because the thing is, like, especially, it makes me angry, too. Because the whole reason that people use CGI is because, oh, it's cheaper and it's easier than doing drawn hand animation. Then but it shouldn't suffer as badly if it's cheaper and
Yeah,
easier to
if it is
do.
cheaper and easier, then it should in fact be better. You should in fact have more time to make it more fluidly moving. Look
It's
at fucking
awful.
Pokemon Sun and Moon. People bitch about how that looks all the time, but that is all done with computers and it looks fucking delightful. The animation in that is fucking awesome and the expressions are cool. Fucking Pokemon made it work. Like, what
Fucking,
the fuck?
I know you haven't seen Violet Evergarden yet, but that's a show that has very little CG in it, but the CG it does have is done amazingly.
Dude,
Like most of the
Violet
scenes with her
Evergarden
aren't.
is a show that got fucking beloved for the most part. Like, got loved for a lot of reasons, but the big draw to Violet Evergarden is that every fucking piece of Violet Evergarden is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, even if you don't pay attention to the story or anything that's going on, it's still just pleasant to watch because it's so beautiful.
Like, that was a show I was about to watch, actually. Then I got, earlier, like about 2 hours ago, but then I got distracted with fucking Mario Odyssey, and I didn't watch any of it besides the fucking opening of the first episode. But that show is gorgeous. You can use CG and it can be great, but fucking Handshakers just didn't. Berserk 2016, as everyone knows, just didn't. And it's at the point now where, like, anime fans are scared when they hear an anime is going to be done in CG. And they shouldn't be. But they're scared because studios keep using CG and digital textures as an excuse to be lazier, instead of an excuse to be able to get more work done on each scene.